Hello everyone, this is Shokora Zouheikyoku, aka chocomint, and welcome back to Let's Play of Intertwine. In the last playthrough, we finished another life between our character and our very handsome man who we also met through lives. How mysterious. And now we will move on to another life, another meeting between fated lovers. Let's go. Ever since we ran into each other, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you, so... Will you go out for me, Shokora? Okay, it starts with a confession. Interesting, and asking out for a date. Van, I'm sorry, I like you. I really do. But I'm not looking for a relationship right now. There was a tug in my chest as Van's face fell. I just think I need to focus on myself. Right person, wrong time and all that, you know. My lips quiver into a weak smile. Oh, that sucks though. The situation sucks. Yeah, I get it. Maybe when the time is right. Until then, try not to forget about me. I could never. What? As I blinked, sunlight flooded my vision. A dream. Why am I thinking about that now? That happened years ago. Wildflowers sway in the wind as I groggily sipped on my drink, trying to shake off memories dredged up from that dream. It had been years since I first saw images of this place, and since then, I had saved all my money to settle down here. I finally made it. It was an incredible feeling to finally see my dream come true. In fact, my entire life felt like a dream. In work, I had achieved the success I've always dreamt of. In friendship, my circle was close and my relationships deep. And years of self-love have taught me how to give myself the happiness and freedom I always wanted. When it came to love, I had never felt any shortage. And yet, sometimes in moments like this, I thought of that man from all those years ago, what it would be like to share these experiences with him. Okay. I see. That's interesting. So instead of memories from the past life, it's like a dream. So they met before. I wonder if he ever thought about me, if he ever found someone else. I didn't regret my decision. Everything I've ever done led me to this moment. And yet, what would have happened if I had said yes? If I had 3 lives, I'll marry you in 2. The other? Perhaps that life over there at Starbucks, sitting alone, writing, a memoir, maybe a novel or this poem. Friends to laugh with, and a man sometimes for a weekend. To remember what skin feels like when it's alive. I'll walk the beach at sunrise, find perfect shell spirals and sturdy bookmarks water beaks in the sand. And I wonder sometimes if I'll ever find you. Sarah Russell. Oh, that's very short. So, in this life, they actually passed each other. They didn't they really didn't. It was unfortunate. So they met once again, but it didn't reach out. Their connection shattered. I'm going to assume that because this ends, that means that they won't meet each other again. That's sad. But then it's different lives, so it is always nice to have a chance to meet each other once again, even though they don't realize it. But it's also sad at the same time if they really don't connect and such. And in this one, they don't have the memories of their past lives. Like, the feeling is there. Like, they have feelings for each other, but there's their afterthoughts, their what the goals they aim for is different, so they don't end up together. Anyway, I should not think too much about this and move on to the next life. Oh, we see this again. It's in the first life, isn't it? A red line stood out against a black and white canvas, connecting two figures being ripped away from one another. It was a famous piece, created hundreds of years ago. Huh? Hundreds of years ago? So I'm going... That's interesting. So that means that it's still like the modern life, but it's like hundreds of years since then, since they have this painting. Maybe it's in the same timeline, but just different time in a sense. So same word, same people that have met before, just 100 years later. Evidently, the artist was a well-known photographer before he painted this, but this became the piece he was known for. And it was the only painting he ever created. Red string. A delicate red string floated before her. A singular thought blanketed any reason she had in that moment. Don't go. This is my first time seeing the painting in person, but it feels so familiar. I can see why it's famous. What a coincidence. Oh, what a coincidence. Eh? Beside me, a handsome stranger admired the same painting. When I come here, I'm usually alone. Won't complain about a little company though. You must be a big fan if you come here that often. It's a favorite. You handsome stranger. What do you think of it? I like it. For some reason, I feel connected to the piece. The red string in particular is my favorite part. It makes me feel hopeful, in a way. Over the loss and desperation, it was the feeling of hope that I held on to. I know what you mean. If you like this one, there are similar pieces in the museum, but if I'm being honest, this will always be my favorite. Personal bias. Well, I'll love to see your recommendations, especially if you come here often. It would be my pleasure. By the way, got a name I can call you? He extended his hand to me. Shokora, and yours? I took his hand and shook it. Fun. Ooh. Where are you taking me? Van guided me forward, his hands gently resting on my shoulders. He juggled near my ear. The sensation sent shivers down my spine.
You want me to ruin the surprise?
We've been together all these years and you're still blending surprises like this? What could it be? The sound of battered grass with each step I took. A light floral scent. The subtle feeling of sun on my skin. Where were we?
This one's different. I've wanted to do this for a while.
A while? What are you? Oh, we come here again. This meadow. I gasped at the scene before me. Rolling hills loomed on the horizon. Lavender decorated the meadow view.
I know we said this vacation was because you were stressed, but didn't you wonder why I was so adamant about here?
He gave my shoulders one last squeeze before joining my side. His eyes shone with excitement. Well, a little bit. considering you're usually so laid back.
I've always wanted to take you here, to see this place. This was just the perfect opportunity.
Here, really? Why?
Just been a dream of mine. You like it?
I do, but I never talked about seeing a flower field. In fact, I wasn't sure I'll ever even thought about visiting one. But it was breathtaking. I felt a sense of belonging, like I was meant to be here. How did you know I'll like this?
Call it a gut feeling. Here, sit.
He let out a blanket, and we both settled next to each other on the battered ground. Well, if there's anything I've learned about us dating, you always know me better than I know myself. I wouldn't be surprised if you knew me in another life. He flashed me a mischievous smile before taking in the view himself. We both quietly enjoyed the scene. When I peeked at him again, his eyes had taken on a distant expression.
I feel like we're together.
Shokora. Yes?
What if I told you... I did?
Did what?
That I did know you in another life?
As romantic as that is.
No, it's not to be romantic. I mean...
He averted his gaze with a real look of uncertainty. Van?
I'm about to tell you something, but don't think I'm weird.
Van, you know you can trust me with anything. What is it?
You know how I get those visions when I first touch someone?
Yeah, like deja vu.
Remember the feeling I got when we met?
You said I felt like an old friend, like someone you had known your entire life.
Yeah, and you did. But it also felt like more than that. I never told you how intense it was, but when we touched, I never felt anything like it. It was like this rush of emotions, of falling in love, being in love, heartbreak, grief. It was like experiencing a past life together. No, not like it. I think I actually did.
Really? Our past life? If it was anyone else, I would brush them off. I'll call them crazy then and there. After all, what Van was saying was ridiculous. But because he always listened to me, supported me, protected me, cherished me, showed me how pure and unselfish love can be. Because it was him. I wanted to believe him. You saw all past life together. What was it like?
You believe me?
Because it's you. He lit up with relief before engulfing me in his embrace. Wow, easy there.
You don't know how long I've been holding that in. Thought I was going to carry that to the grave.
You're so dramatic. So, tell me more about this past life. He chuckled into my shoulder before stepping away.
Which one? There's been so many.
I have options.
Yep. There was the first time we met, after centuries apart. In a couple lives, we hated each other before getting together.
No way.
You can be mean when you want to be.
You can be mean when you want to be. I bet you deserved it.
You've also rejected me.
I have?
It's not a big deal. I'm over it. I'm over it.
So then, we've actually shared a lot of past lives together. It's like we're soulmates. I stare at the scene before us, lost in my thoughts. It sounded cheesy when I said it out loud. And yet, being here with Van, surrounded by lavender, it felt right.
That's what I thought when we met. I have a theory, actually.
What is it?
I have no way of proving it, but I like to think that the more lives we spend together, the more I remember next time we meet.
Ever romantic, I see.
I've had a long time to think about this. How many years have we been together?
I lost track at this point.
Well, I've had that long to theorize.
And now you're going to dump it all on me?
Exactly. I never would have imagined you'd believe me. But you do. That's how I know we're soulmates.
Cheesy!
You said you like cheesy pickup lines.
When?
A long time ago. You wouldn't remember.
Oh yeah, the first life. Well, actually the second life, the life in the modern world when they after the first life together. I shook my head, surprised at how naturally this conversation of past lives was going. Have you ever looked for me? Do you think you've ever looked for me? If you happen to know I was your soulmate or something.
I've thought about that question too. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I have. I'm sure even if we couldn't be together, I'd wonder how you were doing, how that life was treating you, things like that.
Do you think you ever forced me to be with you? Do you think if you knew we were soulmates but we weren't together, you would force me to be with you?
Well, there's a dark thought.
Hypothetically, unless you already know from your glimpses into all past lives.
Afraid I'm not that all-seeing.
Maybe that's good. You won't remember all the times I'm brutally embarrassed myself in my other lives.
Think I've seen enough of your embarrassing moments in this lifetime.
Hey. Yeah, we have the same thought. Hey.
Kidding. But let's see. Would I force you to be with me? Can't remember a time I did, and I'd like to think I never have. But who knows? Love can be dangerous.
Do you ever get tired of it? Do you ever get tired of it all?
Tired of you?
Tired of all of it. Of meeting me for the millionth time. Of falling in love with me. Being with me. Losing me.
You make it exciting.
Those are all my questions. My chest felt warm. I didn't know if Van's words were true. Maybe I never would. But a love that transcended time. Someone who would choose me over and over. The idea of it would make even the most hardened skeptic a hopeless romantic. And even now, you would still choose me?
Always.
You aren't bored of me?
Never.
So even in all next life?
By your touch, I'll always be yours.
Damn, that's romantic. As if to demonstrate his point, Van traced his fingers over my cheeks. His gaze drifted over my features with the same unwavering devotion he always reserved just for me. Time seemed to slow as I etched this moment into my memory. The twilight gray of his eyes, his gentle, careless touch, the earthy, comforting smell of wine. I didn't want to forget any of it. We leaned towards each other, pulled by the invisible string that would forever tether us together. Ooh, hold hands or kiss. Kiss, baby, kiss. Our lips met in an intoxicating kiss, one that somehow felt both familiar and exciting. His voice was a quiet murmur, with a tenderness I would never get tired of.
I love you.
Oh. I would choose you in every lifetime. GB. Woo! Will you choose me in every lifetime? Finn. Oh, I guess this is the last life. Wow. Thank you for creating a game. Nice. So the last life, huh? Okay. Okay, if I click this again, will something change? Deja vu. I'm sorry. Whoops. I was about to sing that song. We have been in this place before. Let's see. Deja vu. Red string. If I had 3 lives, I would choose you. Interesting. Deja vu. Oh, this is tiny. Oh, I think we saw this before. Oh. So those are the 4 lives that we have experienced actually. Wowie. I think this is the end of the story. Or am I missing anything else? I think we are missing some CGs, but I'm not sure what I am missing out. I mean, we have 6 CGs after all. Okay, I believe we have some CGs missing, but there's only a variation of the dialogue in which I'm not going to show it. Since I'm going to leave for everyone to try it out to see if their CGs are a bit different than mine. After all, this is our game, a free game available for everyone to try out, so do try out and share with me your experience in the comments. Nice. So in general, I think we have the final finished the last life. Like not the last life they'll be together, but the last life of the story they are sharing, our protagonist and Van. And maybe, and just maybe in another life, they will meet each other again. Overall, I love the game actually. It's really nice, especially their love interest is very pretty. I really love his eyes. Especially the makeup, the lashes, the eyeshadow, the eyeliner. Very pretty, I love it. I'm just I guess I'm just a sucker for pretty mean. And the story is really, I like the idea of the story, of a story that passes through time, different lives and such. And also I like their they're technically, like for example, we've started with click and start of the mainstream, but to reach another live we have to click the red string of face. So I thought it is a very cool features, and when I click it again after finishing the fin, we actually show all the lives that we has experienced before, and they have a name that like connects to each other, so that's really nice. So that is what coming out after finishing the game. So we're specifically, first I'm going to comment on the art. So the art is very nice. I like their art style a lot, and the protagonist is very pretty. I mean, not us, their love interest. Whoops. So he is very pretty, though every time we meet him, he doesn't really change clothes, so I guess he just really like that style of fashion. The UI and everything looks great. You can see the string of fate here. So everything is stylized, so that's really nice. Whoops. So next is the story. As I mentioned before, I really like the story, especially the idea of meeting each other again through lives. That is something quite romantic, and I am a romantic, so the thought as of someone who is my soulmate and we meet each other through lifetimes, sounds super nice. Of course, there are people who doesn't like that because it feels too like too romantic, not reality, and also it's like a border like that lock you in. It's a cage that lock you in. Imagine you know every lifetime that you there is someone only for you, and it's the same person again. Sometimes maybe people get tired of that. I'm not sure, but it depends on the people's perspective. For me, it is a nice idea. It's not like you will remember your past lives to find it boring or something. Except for this one, we in the last story of the life that Van remembers, then yeah, he remember the lives, but he still choose it, so that's really nice. But for that situation, there's a really 50-50 chance of that person following their soulmate stuff, so that could affect a lot, especially if you kind of very felt familiar. Like I don't know, maybe each life have different personalities or different backgrounds and everything. Also, the other thing that I really like about the story is the revolving theme around it. It is organized really nicely. Like for example, the first like kind of life after the first separation, they met at our protagonist met Van as a photographer and then turned to artist. So with our help, he found inspiration to finish his painting, and that painting actually appeared at the fourth life. So that's a really cool touch. And then there's some recurring theme, like our protagonist really likes to wish to go to Mido someday, to stay there someday, and we could see on the the life when we are the lovers are like rivals. They actually mentioned about that middle, or maybe it's the first life. I'm not sure, but there is a mention of that, and I think it recurred in almost every life, I believe. And I like that not every life like they ended up together, just like the third one, the third or fourth one, the one that Van got rejected, they didn't come together. It's a bit sad, but it's understandable. After all, they don't have memories of their past lives and stuff, and sometimes they don't have dreams or deja vu or the feelings of past life, so that could be it. Maybe Van had, but our protagonist doesn't have that. I believe she only remembered the feeling of wanting to be at a meadow, so it's something from past lives, but not the lover, just something else, a passion. And next is the music, or the voice acting, more of the voice acting. So the music is really nice actually, I like it. It's simple and it goes well with the main theme. I really like the voice acting too, very nice. It really suits their character, how they look. And I just really like his voice. So that should be it for a playthrough of Intertwine. I believe that is the finished of the story. Of course, there are some variations in the CG, but I'm not going to cover that in order for everyone to try it out and share with me any differences in the comments if you like. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next playthrough of another game. Bye bye!